Once you have completed giving the Brigance screening to your students from the Teacher Completed screen, you will want to access some of our data reports. All of our data reports are housed on the teacher dashboard. If you are on eDoctrina's home screen, you can get to the dashboard by clicking on this Teacher's Dashboard button. Once I'm brought to this screen, my first step will be to use my yellow or gold filter pane to find the students and the assessment that I want to pull data for. Please remember that you are only required to filter for the items that have a red asterisk, such as course, class, test bank, and assessment. These filters will need to be selected in order. First course and then class. Also remember, the Select Students filter works itself on its own, so you do not have to select students from that drop-down. Once you have told eDoctrina the students that you are pulling the assessment for by selecting course and class, you will then need to tell eDoctrina where the test is coming from. The second set of filters will need to read Rochester City School District under the Test Bank drop-down, and then you will navigate to the Assessment drop-down and select either the 4, 5, or 6-year-old screening. Since I have data linked to the 5-year-old screening, I will check the checkbox to the left of that assessment name, click anywhere off of my screen, and then the first report I will pull will be the class summary. I can select whether I want the report to run with first and last name or student last name and then first name. Our class summary report will give you a breakdown of student name, student ID number, what the student scored, what the assessment was out of, and then over on the right-hand side, the grade column will give you a number and color coding based on the grade conversion table that has been created and linked to this assessment. You may notice certain students are highlighted in blue, whereas Zachary is in green and Stephen is in red. These color codes have been designed to help you see at a quick glance where your student fell in the different levels of this assessment. For example, any student highlighted in blue will be labeled possibly gifted or talented. Any student highlighted in green is average. Any student name and grade number highlighted in black, which you're not seeing on this screen currently, may have a possible delay. And the student Stephen, highlighted in red with the words at risk, is an at-risk student. If a student is labeled at risk, the social emotional screening will need to be administered to gain further information about this particular student. The social emotional screen is a valuable tool that can be used to gain a broader understanding of the child's developmental level. The Rochester City School District has determined that this screening is optional to give to kindergarten students. However, it will be mandatory for those students labeled at risk. To access the social emotional screen for Stephen, I will need to navigate back to my teacher dashboard, and I'm going to select the social emotional screen under my assessments drop-down filter. Once the assessment is selected, I know that I only need to administer it to Stephen, so I'll make sure that Stephen's name is selected in my students filter, and then I will click the Enter Student Responses button. This assessment will open and can be completed exactly like the 4, 5, and 6-year-old Brigance screenings. The next report I will want to pull that will show me the color coding from the grade conversion table linked to my Brigance assessments will be the Brigance summary report. To navigate to that report, you'll click on this down arrow and select Brigance summary. Again, this report will show you the student name, where that student fell on the grade conversion table, so whether they are gifted or talented, average, or at risk. Please remember any student highlighted in black would be noted as having a possible delay. This report will also show you the overall points the student received and then the individual points for each particular section of the screening. To view this report, I can simply scroll to the right. This report can also be exported to Excel. Another report that may provide you with some additional data would be our individual student report. First, select the option for Standard and then click OK. Here's an example of how the individual student report will show for Stephen, the one student that was labeled as at risk. If I scroll a little bit further down, I'll begin to see every single piece of the screening. Each question number, and then whether the student got it right or wrong. If you scroll to the bottom of each student's report, you'll also see where that student fell in the grade conversion table. Here it states that Stephen is at risk. If you added notes or teacher comments linked to any question within the screening, you will be able to see those within the individual student report by clicking on the option of Show Teacher Comments. The next report we will be highlighting is the Item Analysis Report. I'm going to ignore these extra options for now and just click the OK button. The Item Analysis Report is a nice detailed breakdown of each question and the answers that were selected for the student. This is a quick and easy report to interpret because of the bar graph along with the questions stated below the graph. As you can see for number 2, the question is, does the student know their first name? I can easily see that 3 students out of the 4 that I gave this assessment to did, and 1 did not. This item analysis report can also be exported to PDF. I will now navigate back to the dashboard. As a recap, you have at least 4 powerful data reports that you are able to pull to see immediate assessment data from your Brigance assessments. Individual student, class summary, item analysis, and then on the second page of reports, the Brigance summary. Again, please keep in mind, to pull data for those reports, you will always have to use your filters by first selecting course and then class, test bank, and then assessment. The color coding that is available on some of those reports is being pulled from a grade conversion table that has been set up and linked to these particular assessments for you. Once more, the colors stand for blue, possibly gifted and talented, green, average, black, possible delay, and red, at risk. As always, if you have any questions while you're navigating through eDoctrina, please feel free to contact us at help@edoctrina.org.